It is the viral moment that has completely stolen the spotlight from a grand coronation anniversary, sparking a massive conversation across social media and political circles about protocol, personality, and the public conduct of our leaders. If you thought the biggest news from Ile-Ife this weekend was the Ooni's 10th anniversary or the high-profile chieftaincy titles, you need to think again. The headline flashing across every blog and timeline right now is the frank instruction handed down by the First Lady of Nigeria to the dancing governor of Osun State. We are broadcasting this special deep dive report today, Monday, December 8, 2025, to unpack the drama that unfolded yesterday at the palace of the Ooni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwusi. The headline is screaming, "Moment First Lady Oluremi Tinubu frankly instructed Governor Ademola Adeleke to read his speech and stop singing and dancing." We are going to look at the exact circumstances of this interaction, the body language, the reaction of the dignitaries present, including former President Olusegun Obasanjo, and what this tells us about the dynamic between the presidency and the opposition governors. Let's get straight to the gist of this unfolding spectacle. The setting was majestic. It was the grand finale of the 10th coronation anniversary of the Ooni of Ife in the cradle of the Yoruba race, Ile-Ife. The creme de la creme of Nigerian society was seated. We are talking about the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Saad Abubakar III, the Olu of Warri, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, and governors from across the southwest. The First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, was the guest of honor, there to receive the prestigious chieftaincy title of Yeye Asiwaju of Ile-Odua, the mother and leader of the entire Yoruba land. Enter Governor Ademola Adeleke. As the host governor, he is known for his infectious energy, his Imole vibe, and of course, his signature dance moves that have endeared him to many but irritated his critics. According to reports and the viral narrative spreading like wildfire, the governor, in his usual exuberant style, was doing what he does best, entertaining the crowd, perhaps a bit too enthusiastically for the solemnity of the occasion or the First Lady's preference. The moment happened when it was time for speeches. The First Lady, known for her background as a teacher and a disciplinarian, remember her days in the Senate, reportedly didn't mince words. In a move that stunned the audience, she frankly instructed the governor to set aside the theatrics, stop the singing and dancing, and focus on the serious business of reading his speech. It was a scene reminiscent of a headmistress correcting a playful student in the assembly hall. She essentially told him, "Governor, leave the dance floor and face the podium." This interaction is fascinating on so many levels. First, it highlights the stark contrast in styles. Oluremi Tinubu represents the old school discipline, prim, proper, and protocol-driven. Ademola Adeleke represents the new school populism, accessible, fun, and unconventional. When these two forces collided in Ile-Ife, it wasn't just a clash of personalities, it was a clash of political cultures. But we must dig deeper. Was this just a light-hearted correction, or was it a stinging rebuke? Some observers are calling it a motherly correction, fitting for her new title as the Yeye Asiwaju. They argue that as the mother of the nation and now the mother of the Yoruba race, she has the cultural authority to call a younger governor to order. They say she was trying to preserve the dignity of the event. However, Critics, especially supporters of Governor Adeleke, are seeing it differently. They view it as a public embarrassment and a display of federal might trying to suppress the governor's shine. They ask, is dancing a crime? They argue that Adeleke's dancing is his connection to the people. It is his way of showing he is happy and healthy, unlike the stiff, detached demeanor of typical politicians. They feel the First Lady overstepped her bounds by dictating how a sitting governor should behave in his own state. This incident also brings up the recent criticisms Adeleke has faced from the opposition APC in Osun State. Just last month, in November 2025, the APC accused him of jumping around nightclubs instead of governing. By telling him to read his speech, Oluremi Tinubu might have been subtly echoing this opposition sentiment that it is time for less booger and more governance. It reinforces the narrative that the presidency is watching him closely. Now, let's look at the speech she wanted everyone to focus on. After the correction, Senator Oluremi Tinubu delivered a bombshell prediction that has also got people talking. She declared that Nigeria will be lending to nations by 2026. Yes, you heard that right. In a time of economic hardship, she stood in Ile-Ife and prophesied that by next year, Nigeria's prosperity will be so great that other countries will come to borrow from us. She said, those wondering how we will do it, we will show them. This statement is as controversial as her instruction to Adeleke. Is it a prophecy of hope, or is it a disconnect from the reality of the market woman in Balogun or the farmer in Benue? While she was correcting Adeleke's dancing, she was delivering a promise that many Nigerians find hard to believe. It creates a juxtaposition: the governor who dances to forget the hardship versus the First Lady who promises a future that seems like a fantasy. We also have to consider the presence of the other heavyweights. Former President Obasanjo was there. Did he chuckle? Did he nod in agreement? Obasanjo is known for his own public theatrics and discipline. Having these three figures, Obasanjo, Remi Tinubu, and Adeleke in one space, is a recipe for high drama. The Ooni of Ife, in his wisdom, described the First Lady as a blessing to Nigeria and a mother figure, which perhaps gave her the license to scold the governor. The fallout from this instruction is already rippling through the polity. It has reignited the debate about respect and repression. In Yoruba culture, respect for elders is paramount. Adeleke, despite being a governor, is younger and junior in the hierarchy to the First Lady and the Ooni. Did he take the instruction with humility? Reports suggest he did eventually read his speech, commending the Ooni for projecting Yoruba culture. This shows he knows when to yield. But will he stop dancing? Probably not. It is his brand. I want to engage you on this, family. We need to talk about the politics of optics. In Nigeria, appearance is everything. When a governor dances, some see energy, others see unseriousness. When a First Lady corrects a governor, some see motherliness, others see arrogance. Who defines what is presidential or gubernatorial? Is a governor who reads a speech in a monotone voice better than one who dances with his people but gets the job done? Governor Adeleke's supporters point to his infrastructure projects in Osun State as proof that he can dance and walk. They say the First Lady should focus on the economy that she claims will be booming in 2026, rather than policing dance moves. On the flip side, her supporters argue that there is a time and place for everything. A royal coronation is not a disco party. They say she saved him from embarrassing himself in front of the international guests. We also cannot ignore the economic backdrop of this event. The First Lady's speech about lending to nations in 2026 is a massive claim. We are in December 2025. That is just 1 month away from the start of 2026. Is she saying the economy will turn around in weeks? Or is this political rhetoric designed to calm the nerves of a hungry nation? The contrast between the dancing governor, who is seen as distracting people from their pain, and the prophetic First Lady who is promising a future, captures the two ways Nigerian leaders handle crisis: distraction and promises. So, the headline stands: the First Lady has spoken, the governor has been instructed. Whether you see this as a mother correcting her son or a political power play, one thing is certain: the Ooni's 10th anniversary will be remembered not just for the culture, but for the moment the music stopped. Governor Adeleke may have read his speech, but I suspect the next time he hears booger, his feet will still move. You cannot cure a man of his nature with one instruction. What do you think? Was First Lady Remi Tinubu right to instruct Governor Adeleke to stop dancing? Or was it disrespectful to a sitting governor? And do you believe her prophecy that Nigeria will be lending money to nations by 2026? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We will keep tracking the reactions from the Osun State government and the presidency.